What would you do with $1 trillion? Buy the world, build on Mars, or go on a spacewalk? It's a vast, so mind-boggling figure that it's hard for most people to even conceive. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be the richest person on Earth? To have access to unimaginable luxuries, to wield power beyond most people's wildest dreams? Well, what if I told you that the wealthiest individual alive isn't some tech mogul or Wall Street titan, but a world leader, one who's amassed a staggering secret fortune while presiding over a nuclear superpower? This is the story of Vladimir Putin, Russia's enigmatic president and a man whose colossal hidden wealth has become legend. With a rumored net worth reaching into the hundreds of billions or even trillions of dollars, Putin is believed to be far and away the richest person on the planet, eclipsing even the flashiest billionaires and royals. But how did a humble former KGB agent manage to accumulate such vast riches? And what does he do with his unimaginable wealth? From sprawling palaces and mega yachts to priceless art collections and secret stakes in some of Russia's biggest companies, Putin's empire of luxury is a realm unlike any other. Net worth and income. Just how fantastically rich is Vladimir Putin? It's a question that has obsessed journalists, government officials, and curious citizens for years. On paper, Putin's wealth appears modest. His official salary hovers around a paltry $140,000 per year, and his publicly declared assets include little more than some bank accounts, a few Russian-made cars, and a small apartment. Hardly fitting for a man who has wielded more power than nearly any other 21st century leader. But experts universally agree this official narrative is laughably distant from the truth. The real Vladimir Putin, they say, is a man of almost incomprehensible hidden wealth, with a sprawling secret fortune that may make him the richest individual in the world. Bill Browder, a financier who has investigated Russian corruption for decades, estimates that Putin has accumulated at least $200 billion in assets, nearly 3 times the official wealth of the world's current richest person, Elon Musk. Other observers put the total even higher. Some have claimed that Putin may secretly be the world's first trillionaire, with over $1,000 billion in hidden riches. That's a 1 with 12 zeros after it, an almost unfathomable sum, greater than the annual economic output of all but a handful of countries. If true, it would make Putin not just the richest person alive, but possibly the richest person ever in human history. So where does all this stupendous wealth allegedly come from? After all, even in Russia's notoriously corrupt economy, civil servants don't exactly make oligarch money. According to Putin critics and forensic accountants, the answer lies in a web of shady dealings, crooked kickbacks, and straight-up theft on a historic scale. Some of the billions are believed to come from sweetheart deals and hidden stakes in some of Russia's most lucrative industries: oil, gas, minerals, and more. Companies and oligarchs eager to stay in Putin's good graces allegedly cut him in on the juiciest profits, funneling shares to accounts and proxies tied to the president. It's a symbiotic relationship. They get filthy rich, and he gets even filthier rich. Even more money may come through simple skimming of state funds on a jaw-dropping scale. Billions in government contracts for everything from construction to military equipment are given to Putin-friendly companies, which in turn are believed to kick back handsome slices directly into the president's pockets. Some reports suggest Putin may take personal cuts of up to 50% on such deals, dwarfing the traditional 10% bribe for lesser bureaucrats. It's kleptocracy elevated to an art form. Of course, the Kremlin categorically denies that Putin has any such hidden assets or income streams. His spokesman has called claims about his secret wealth complete nonsense and attributed his fancy wristwatches to generous gifts from admirers. But documents and insider accounts that have emerged over the years suggest otherwise. From the Panama Papers' revelations of his cronies' billions stashed in offshore havens, to intelligence reports detailing his hidden stakes in state companies, to oligarchs caught admitting on wiretaps that Putin gets a hefty cut of their profits, the evidence of Titanic's secret riches has piled up. So, while we may never know the full scope of Putin's true net worth, it's clear that the official story of a modestly salaried civil servant is absurdly far from reality. Instead, Vladimir Vladimir Putin appears to be a man of historic, almost unimaginable hidden wealth, a shadow trillionaire whose empire of luxury affords him a lifestyle mere residences and palaces, with wealth rumored to reach into the hundreds of billions or even trillions of dollars. It's no surprise that Vladimir Putin enjoys access to some of the most spectacular real estate imaginable. While his official presidential home is the Kremlin Senate building, a relatively modest Moscow apartment long served as Putin's primary registered address. But behind the scenes, Putin has long had keys to a sprawling network of over 20 lavish palaces and villas scattered across Russia and beyond. Residences whose total grandeur and luxury would make the world's royal families blush. The crown jewel of Putin's property empire is believed to be the so-called Palace of Putin, a breathtaking seaside compound located near the resort town of Gelendzhik on the Black Sea coast. Estimated to have cost over $1 billion, this palatial estate features staggering luxuries fit for a modern-day czar: a private theater and casino, multiple swimming pools, lavish spas replete with Turkish baths, a music lounge filled with rare instruments, a pole dancing room for female entertainers, and a fully underground ice hockey rink where Putin and his cronies can skate in total privacy. The landscaped grounds boast vineyards, an amphitheater, a greenhouse filled with precious plants, and even an arboretum to satisfy the president's botanical fancies. The palace itself mixes elegant neoclassical styles with garish touches befitting an oligarch with more money than taste, double-headed eagle motifs, millions in Italian luxury furnishings, tacky faux classical statues, and friezes. Naturally, the whole compound is heavily secured. An army of guards, radar jammers, a no-fly zone overhead, and even anti-missile batteries nearby. Nothing but the best protection for the president's billion-dollar Xanadu. Nor is the Black Sea Palace Putin's only stunning abode. Near the resort of Sochi sits another striking estate, dubbed Putin's Country Cottage. Though at nearly 200,000 square feet, it's a cottage only an emperor could love. The elegant Italianate villa features luxuries like a private cinema, a summer amphitheater, a 2,500 square foot indoor pool, and a separate tea house, whose Baroque stylings would make Marie Antoinette jealous. For sportier getaways, Putin can jet to his lavish ski lodges perched high in the Caucasus Mountains. The crown jewel is a massive chalet complex in the resort of Krasnaya Polyana, featuring 1,500 square foot suites, a private chairlift to whisk the president directly to the finest slopes, and naturally, a banya sauna where he and his pals can sweat out their après-ski vodka shots. History buffs will be glad to know that Putin doesn't merely indulge in new-build mega-mansions. He reportedly adores the Selgren Villa in the Vyborg region near St. Petersburg, a century-old Art Nouveau masterpiece painstakingly restored to satiate the president's love for old-world opulence. And lest anyone think Russia's borders confine Putin's life of property privilege, think again. Insiders say he regularly secretly visits palatial residences as far afield as Chechnya, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan, where local despots are all too happy to put up their beloved Russian overlord in suitable style. Talk about a home away from home. Of course, every one of these astonishing compounds is staffed by small armies of servants sworn to total secrecy and guarded round the clock by phalanxes of elite presidential security service agents. And conveniently, each can be reached via a short trip on a presidential plane or helicopter, meaning Putin need never mix with the regular Russian rabble he rules over. All told, Putin's eye-watering portfolio of palaces and villas is believed to encompass over 100,000 hectares, an area larger than the entire city of New York. With lush grounds, glittering interiors, and every possible amenity, these astonishing residences underscore Putin's position as a man who can access the very best of the best at a moment's notice, all while his citizens scrabble for their daily bread. Its rank privilege is taken to its most extreme: transportation. For a leader as obsessed with luxury, security, and flexibility as Vladimir Putin, only the most elite modes of transportation will do, and with a secret fortune rumored to be in the hundreds of billions or even trillions, he can certainly afford to indulge his tastes. When it comes to air travel, Putin has not one but two ultra-lavish jetliners at his disposal. The crown jewel of his aerial armada is an Ilyushin Il-96 wide-body airliner, originally designed to carry over 300 passengers but lavishly reconfigured to satisfy one man's every whim. This flying mansion boasts a spacious presidential bedroom, fully equipped conference room, communications center, kitchen staffed by expert chefs, and even a full gym and bathing area, so Putin can look his best upon arrival. With its iconic blue and white livery, this is a plane whose presence announces that Russia's most powerful man is on the move. For shorter hops, Putin can opt for his customized Dassault Falcon 7X jet. While smaller than the Il-96, this speedy French-made beauty still affords Putin all the luxuries and communications capabilities he requires, ensuring he's never out of touch with the Kremlin during his travels. But even these magnificent machines are mere trifles compared to Putin's most prized aerial asset, his top-secret, heavily modified Il-80 Doomsday plane. Built to allow the president to command Russia's nuclear arsenal even amidst a full-scale war, this aerial fortress is reportedly equipped with the latest radiation-hardened communications gear, electromagnetic shielding, emergency generators, and more. Few images of its interior exist, but it's believed to contain a full command suite, advanced medical facilities, and even an escape pod in case of catastrophe. It's the ultimate military status symbol, a $500 million plane fit for the apocalypse. On the ground, Putin's motorcade is nearly as imposing as his jets. When the president rolls through Moscow, he does it in a convoy over 50 vehicles long, a monstrous display of armored excess. At its heart is Putin's limousine, the Aurus Senate, an ultra-luxurious Russian-made beast that's essentially a leather-clad tank on wheels. Packing nearly 600 horsepower, the 21-foot-long Senate weighs over 14,000 pounds thanks to extensive armoring and bulletproofing. Its tires are reinforced with Kevlar to withstand punctures, and its windows are made of ultra-thick ballistic glass. The body can reportedly shrug off not only gunfire but landmines and even some missile strikes. And naturally, the interior is bedecked in the finest leathers, rare woods, and gold trim. Putin himself helped design the Senate, packing it with high-tech amenities like night vision, anti-glare lights, and even a built-in smokescreen system to frustrate would-be assassins. It's the ultimate dictator mobile for a president who leaves nothing to chance. But impressive as the Senate is, Putin's true vehicular passion lies with a far more exclusive set of wheels: his multi-million-dollar collection of rare, vintage, and modern luxury cars. From a 1956 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud to an ultra-rare 1963 Bentley S3 Continental, from a classic Russian ZIL limousine to a modern Porsche 911 costing over $400,000, Putin's garages brim with automotive treasures. Many were gifted by fawning oligarchs eager to earn his favor. A $500,000 Mercedes-Benz S600 Pullman here, a limited edition Ferrari F430 there. And of course, there's an array of Russian-made cars like classic Volgas and modern Marussia supercars, a nod to Putin's love of fast, flashy, Russian-made machines. Yet Putin's vehicular indulgences don't stop with four wheels. An avid boater since childhood, he's rumored to own a staggering fleet of 6 luxury yachts, floating mansions that dwarf the boats of lesser billionaires. His flagship is the Graceful, a stunning 270-foot super yacht featuring lavish staterooms, a fully equipped gym and spa, twin helipads, and even a 3D movie theater. Other aquatic toys in Putin's armada include the Olympia, a speedy 190-foot number with a swimming pool that converts into a dance floor, and the Cellist, whose amenities allegedly include a professional-grade music studio. Each yacht naturally boasts the latest security systems like anti-missile defenses and high-tech intruder alarms, because even when he's at sea, Russia's #1 man can never be too careful. But perhaps the most intriguing member of Putin's transportation fleet is the one the public has never laid eyes on: his top-secret armored train. Said to rival the lavish private trains of Russia's czars, this ghost train is reportedly used by Putin and his top advisors for secretive domestic trips, especially to far-flung locales unreachable by plane. With sumptuous carriages featuring bedrooms, kitchens, conference rooms, and more, all heavily armored and protected by elite guards, it's the perfect way for a publicity-shy Putin to move around his vast domain in secure comfort. All told, Putin's dizzying array of ultra-elite elite transports underscores his position as a leader for whom no excess is too extreme, no luxury too lavish. From jets that cost more than many nations' GDP to yachts longer than city blocks, this is a vehicular collection fit for the grandest of modern czars, and all secretly owned by a man who still claims to live on a humble civil servant's salary. In Putin's Russia, it seems, all pigs are equal, but some are more equal than others, especially when they can get around in flying palaces. Hobbies and indulgences. As a man of almost limitless means and ceaseless ambition, it's no surprise that Vladimir Putin pursues his passions with the same zeal he brings to dominating the Kremlin. And those hobbies and indulgences paint a picture of a leader determined to project total mastery in every domain. Take, for example, Putin's colossal collection of ultra-luxury wristwatches. No dime store times for this horological aficionado. Putin's tastes run towards the rarest and most expensive watches money can buy. There's the $500,000 A. Lange and Sona Turbograph, an insanely complex timepiece featuring hundreds of minute components, gifted to Putin by a German auto exec. Or the $300,000 Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar watch, a model favored by royalty worldwide. And who could forget Putin's $1 million Blancpain Le Brassus minute repeater, whose chimes are said to ring out like the bells of the Kremlin when he checks the hour? All told, Putin is believed to own over $700,000 in top-end watches, a stunning sum given his allegedly humble official income. Little wonder then that anti-corruption activists have dubbed him the corruption wrist crawler, a true luxury watch connoisseur whose collection is a glittering symbol of ill-gotten gains. But impressive as his watches may be, they positively pale in comparison to Putin's sartorial splendor. For a man who rose to power portraying a humble, no-frills persona, Putin's wardrobe tells a very different story. The Russian president is renowned for his bespoke suits, all crafted by the most elite European tailors. From the fabled Italian suitmaker Brioni, known for dressing James Bond, to the rarefied Hamburg workshop of Loro Piana, where suits start at $25,000, Putin spares no expense in ensuring he's always the best-dressed man in the room. Insiders say the president's closets brim with over 50 handmade suits, each perfectly fitted to his compact frame. He favors dark, serious tones and is known to dress almost exclusively in pricey labels like Valentino and Salvatore Ferragamo. For casual wear, Putin opts for luxury sweaters and polo shirts from Italian designer Loro Piana, whose rare woolen cashmeres are among the world's finest. Even his activewear is top-notch. Think exclusive ski parkas from premium French outfitter Moncler at over $2,000 a pop. All these exquisite garments are carefully tended by a round-the-clock wardrobe staff who keep Putin looking pristine no matter the occasion. And when the president travels, an extensive wardrobe always comes with him, packed into its own separate suitcases and private plane. Because after all, one never knows when an opportunity to look dashing might arise. But lest anyone think Putin is merely a dandy in bespoke clothing, the Russian leader takes great pains to cultivate a macho image defined by manly pursuits. Over the years, he's arranged numerous photo ops to depict himself engaged in all manner of red-blooded hobbies, from hunting and fishing to racing Formula One cars around a track. Among Putin's most beloved pastimes is horseback riding, and he's frequently seen mounted on a majestic steed, trotting through the Siberian wilderness or the grand plazas of the Kremlin. For big game hunts, he favors a traditional short Cossack sword and antique muskets. Other cherished outdoorsy hobbies include motorcycling, hang gliding, bobsledding, and of course, his much photographed bare-chested fishing expeditions. And when he's not playing rugged frontiersman, Putin can often be found indulging his love for winter sports like ice hockey and skiing, the latter at his lavish private resort in the Caucasus Mountains. There, he can take to the slopes via a private chairlift before retiring to his palatial ski lodge. It's all part of the action man image he carefully cultivates, that of a leader stronger and more virile than his decadent Western counterparts. But impressive as Putin's tough guy hobbies are, they're positively Spartan compared to the sumptuous cultural indulgences that allegedly define his private hours. Take, for instance, his sprawling art collection, believed to be one of the world's largest in private hands. With a value estimated in the billions, Putin's hoard supposedly includes masterpieces from the likes of Picasso, Monet, Van Gogh and Rothko, many obtained through his cronies in the shady high-end art trade. The jewel of the collection is said to be a near-priceless compilation of rare Fabergé eggs once owned by the Tsars themselves, art fit for a king. And like any true oligarch, Putin has ensured his passion for the finer things is enshrined in gold and marble. Many of his palatial residences are crammed with museum-quality antiques, from priceless Persian rugs to purebred horses, and million-dollar pianos to jewelry collections that would make royalty blush. One of his villas near Sochi allegedly features a lavish music room filled with rare instruments, including a custom-built pipe organ plated in 24-karat gold. Because what good is a billion-dollar fortune if you can't enjoy history's finest luxuries? Yet maybe the greatest indulgence Vladimir Putin has allegedly secured for himself is the most mysterious of all: a secret second family. For years, rumors have swirled that the supposedly divorced president has carried on a clandestine relationship with Olympic gold medal gymnast Alina Kabayeva, a woman 30 years his junior, often dubbed Russia's most flexible woman. According to inside sources, Putin and Kabayeva have multiple children together, including at least one son and twin daughters, all jealously guarded from public view. The family is said to shuttle between many secret residences, both within Russia and in Switzerland, where Kabayeva allegedly gave birth. Naturally, Putin has steadfastly denied these claims, and even mentioning Kabayeva's name has become a risky proposition for Russian media. But for a man as obsessed with power and virility as Putin, is it so hard to believe he would go to any lengths to assert his dominance, even in the bedroom? From his gilded cribs to his iron-pumping photo shoots, from his stable of priceless artistic treasures to his alleged hidden brood of heirs, Vladimir Putin's indulgences and pursuits paint a portrait of a man determined to tower in every respect. Even his leisure activities become just another sphere to demonstrate his total supremacy. In Putin's Russia, it's simply not enough to dominate politics and amass untold riches. One must be the manliest rider, the deftest hunter, the most sublime aesthete. Mastery is all, and no part of life can be left unconquered. Putin and other presidents. Take, for example, American presidents, long considered the ultimate icons of free world power and prestige. While leaders like Donald Trump and Joe Biden boast impressive personal fortunes in the tens or hundreds of millions, their wealth absolutely pales next to Putin's rumored hoard. The richest American president, Trump, is estimated to be worth around $3 billion. An impressive sum, but essentially a rounding error in Putin's ledger. Even the vaunted Kennedy family fortune at its height would be dwarfed dozens of times over by the Kremlin titan's riches. The same goes for their personal real estate. American presidents may get to enjoy the White House and Camp David, but these official residences can't hold a candle to Putin's colossal network of personal palaces. The entire White House complex measures a paltry 55,000 square feet, smaller than just Putin's garish personal gym in one of his Black Sea villas. And while past presidents like George W. Bush boast impressive ranches, they'd be little more than groundskeepers' huts on the sprawling grounds of a Putin dacha. One American leader with delusions of grandeur simply can't compare to the real thing. Even among his fellow strongmen and oligarchs, Putin's opulence remains singular. North Korea's Kim Jong-un may rule his hermit kingdom with an iron fist, but his personal riches are a pittance compared to the Russian president's. While Kim plows his nation's wealth into missile tests and military parades, Putin has found a way to effortlessly keep all the loot for himself. The same goes for China's Xi Jinping, another authoritarian leader with a penchant for personality cults. But while Xi certainly avails himself of the perks of power, there's little evidence he's racked up even a fraction of Putin's gargantuan personal riches. In the realm of dictatorial excess, Russia's ruler reigns supreme. In Putin, it seems, Russia has found a new Tsar for the modern age, a figure who has fused the grandeur and power of the old emperors with the cunning and brutality of a Soviet strongman. Like the Romanovs of old, he surrounds himself with a court of favored nobles, doling out estates and fortunes to his chosen few. Like the commissars of the USSR, he used his power to bend the nation to his will, brooking no dissent. It's a new twist on an old Russian tale, the story of a ruler who combines the worst excesses of the past with a cold calculation of the present. And therein perhaps lies the true significance of Vladimir Putin's vast riches and indulgences. In a nation still scarred by the privations of the Soviet era, raw from the crony capitalism and unrest of the 90s, Putin has positioned himself as a figure above it all, a leader whose unimaginable wealth and privilege are the ultimate symbols of his unquestioned authority. To the Russian people, his glittering lifestyle sends a simple message: I am in total control, I have mastered every sphere, I cannot be touched. In that sense, Putin's billions are far more than a mere personal fortune. They are the very bedrock of his power, the foundation on which his entire imperial persona rests. Without his image as the richest and most powerful man in Russia, in the world, Putin's grip on the national psyche would surely weaken. In a land that might have always been made right, a poor ruler is no ruler at all. And so Putin's palaces and planes, his yachts and watches and armies of servants are more than mere luxuries. They are necessities of his reign, the essential trappings of his 21st century tsardom. Diamonds may be a dictator's best friend, but in Putin's case, they're also his most crucial political allies.